The other night, some guy, a woman that I've known for a while, asked me if you can put some boxes inside my in my storage, right?
I just wanted to tell you that I love you and that I miss you and that I can't wait to see you in the morning.
And so we were going through the stuff, and we really got, and there's a baby in there.
This is 5-year-old Cali Anderson. It might sound hard to believe, but she was found starved to death in a box, the doing of her father and stepmother. And when the police interviewed Averiana Enoch, they were shocked to their core again.
Yesterday, what did you do yesterday? Coke, CBH.
How could a baby end up in the care of such a woman? And how did Cali's dad let this happen? This is the disturbing story of Cali Anderson and her terrifying death.
Night, Dada. We love you.
This looks like a normal family video and quite a heartwarming one too. But Cali Anderson's life was terrible from the beginning. Yet even though people saw the signs, no one wanted to believe it. It all came crashing down on the warm evening of May 15th, 2018, when Joe Garcia had an awful suspicion about his friend Tyler Anderson.
The other night, some guy, a woman that I've known for a while, asked me if you can put some boxes inside my in my storage, right? And we really got, and there's a baby in there.
Say bye, Dada.
There's a baby in there. I just seen the arm and I just know it's a dead body.
Imagine seeing a tiny purple arm sticking out of a duffel bag. Joe thought Tyler was his pal. He'd met him during rehab a few years back, and the two kept in touch ever since. So when Tyler asked him to store some boxes at his place, Joe thought nothing of it at first. But when Tyler drove all the way from Reno, Nevada to Sacramento with just 3 boxes and a big U-Haul, he started getting a bad feeling about it.
What's wrong with you, dude? Why are you so damn suspicious? Your wife needs, bring a buck, and I told him, they go, if you're trying to get caught, because I thought it was right. If you're trying to get me caught up or something, because I just really got off from, don't want to get in a bunch of...
Tyler assured him there was nothing to worry about. Then he drove over with his whole family, his wife, Averiana, and their 2 boys. They left the boxes, including the gruesome duffel bag, and went on their way. Almost as if the smell wouldn't make Joe suspicious eventually.
Can you see that? And then in this container, there's like some decomp. And that smell, you get the smell of this.
This gruesome discovery wasn't easy for the detectives either. They had no idea how serious the situation was or who was responsible for it.
I wonder if there's more kids in that storage.
We don't know.
We'll probably never find out.
The police quickly got the description of Tyler and his wife from Joe. They knew they'd come from Reno, and they also knew they'd driven over a white U-Haul. So they got the CCTV footage from the storage unit complex manager.
Can you look up something for me?
Yeah. That's Joe at the gate.
So is that the Yaris, or is that it right there?
That's the Yaris right there.
Okay, but not the guy that we're interested. How do I hit pause?
Oh, just right there. Oh, you gotta be honest.
Within minutes, the police ran the license plates on the U-Haul and obtained a name: Tyler Anderson, living in Reno, Nevada. Shockingly, Tyler was only 23 at the time. His wife, Averiana, was the same age. Yet somehow, they had a 5-year-old and they'd killed her. The Sacramento police notified the Reno police, and within hours, Tyler was in custody. On the morning of May 16th, the day after the body was found, a team of detectives rushed to Tyler and Averiana's apartment with a search warrant. Averiana was home, and she invited the detectives inside. It's not like she had a choice. The home was not a pretty sight. To say the apartment was unkept would be an understatement. There was filth everywhere, and the smell was terrible, and you barely had any room to walk without stepping on something. And when I say something, I mean literally anything from spoiled food to clothes to hard drugs. To think this is where little Cali Anderson spent her whole life. Now the detectives are starting to paint an even more tragic picture. Tyler was not the only one involved in his daughter's death, so they took Averiana to the police station. This was just the beginning of Cali Anderson's horrendous story. 24 hours after the discovery of Cali's body, both her parents were in custody. But while Avriana agreed to talk to the detectives without a lawyer, Tyler requested one. He would only be officially interrogated by the police in July 2019, over a year after Cali's death.
I hope that the truth comes out.
It's going to come out, like I said, it's going to come out, and it's not going to be what everybody wants to hear. It's not going to be pretty, it's going to be the truth, and it is what it is.
However, he spoke to his mother on the phone right after his arrest, and he gave enough away. The detectives were pretty sure that whatever gruesome reality Tyler was describing, Avriana was in on it too. But they took her to the soft interrogation room, the one reserved for children and victims of crime.
I don't feel good.
They weren't sure just what she'd done and what her mental state was. Plus, friendly treatment might get the suspect to trust the detectives and open up faster. However, the two detectives conducting the interrogation didn't waste too much time on small talk. As soon as they came into the room, they thanked Avriana for cooperating, and they asked her what she and Tyler were doing in Sacramento.
Well, we went down there, honestly, to get something that I'm ashamed to talk about.
Okay, well, we're not here to pass judgment, okay? It's not our job to do that.
So she said the trip to Sacramento ended with a white powder purchase. This wasn't a surprise to the cops. The forensic team had found enough of it back at their apartment. But of course the detectives also knew there was another reason for their Sacramento trip. So they asked her what they took to Sacramento.
I think my husband took a dresser.
Just a dresser?
A few days ago. A dresser. I believe it was just a dresser.
Okay.
As the police asked Avriana more specific questions about the dresser, the storage, and Tyler's friend, she kept trying to distance herself from Tyler. She said she didn't know his friend or Sacramento or where the storage was exactly. So she made it look like it was all Tyler's plan, and he dragged her along with him. But here's what happened when the cops asked her what she did the day before.
Yesterday, what'd you do yesterday? Coke, CB8.
Until now, Avriana could have looked like the victim of an evil husband. But did you hear that laugh? That was her laughing in the face of the detectives, sending the message that she didn't care about the interrogation or about telling the truth. This wasn't an honest answer. It was a defying joke. As the detectives asked Avriana about Joe Garcia, the owner of the storage unit, she suddenly seemed to remember him after she'd said she didn't know him.
Can you describe the guy? This friend of Tyler's?
Mexican.
Okay.
Then a little older.
A little older than Tyler?
Yeah.
Okay. And how'd that go? You're meeting him. Seem like a good guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then Avriana revealed another reason for the trip to Sacramento. The pair was about to get separated, so Tyler was planning to move back in with his family in Sacramento, leaving Avriana in Reno. Then Avriana mentioned the whole family went on the trip.
Which kids went down with you?
It was me and my boys.
Okay. All right.
Sure, but where was Cali?
Where was during that time?
I don't know.
How could she not know? Cali lived with her and Tyler.
So who is Cali's mother? Do you know who Cali's mother is?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Do you know her name?
Yeah, I do. You want me to say it out loud?
Avriana didn't seem fazed at all by the discussion of her missing stepdaughter. In fact, she seemed to be having a good time. She also made it quite clear she hated Cali's biological mother.
Yeah, she's all around TBH.
Okay.
She's all around.
Why do you say she's all around?
Because that's the kind of person she is.
Alright.
She's all around.
Drama.
Yeah, always drama.
This only proved to the detectives that she was somehow involved in it. Tyler would paint a pretty clear picture of Avriana's hatred toward Cali and her mother too.
You know, she wants us to spend time together. She and my mom were never, they never saw eye to eye. Like they never had a relationship. So she was upset, and, you know, she was talking about me.
So if you don't come back.
Avriana met Tyler when his ex-girlfriend was still pregnant with Cali. The two had broken up, but Tyler wanted to be a good dad to Cali. Avriana was hoping he would just forget about his baby and spend all his time with her. So every time Tyler would bring Cali along with him, she would be very angry. Still, in March 2013, when Cali was less than a year old, Tyler moved in with Avriana in Reno. That spring, Tyler paid Cali and her mom a visit in Sacramento. That's when Avriana tried to take her own life. Tyler found her in the hospital when he got back home. Perhaps that was the crossroads moment for the couple. Tyler could have seen this as a red flag, or Avriana could have left him, aware that she couldn't handle him having a child. But they decided to stick together, and that year Cali came to live with them while Tyler tried to get full custody of her. That decision was a death sentence for little Cali. As Tyler would be off at work, he would leave his daughter in Avriana's care. Whenever he came back, it looked like everyone was getting along really well.
I would come home and they would be playing, she would teach her how to read, she's teaching her how to walk, she's showing her how to cook, vacuuming, right?
Interestingly enough, Avriana actually also spoke fondly of the moment Cali started living with them.
I cried. I was holding her and I cried because I was just like, she was just a baby, and I just love babies. But she just looked like her dad, and I looked at her and felt like I would have loved you.
But Avriana was not an honest person. Around the same time, she told Tyler that she wanted to get married to him because she thought this would solidify their chances of getting custody of Cali. She also told him that she was ready to be a wife and a mother if it was with him. Tyler's mom had a bad feeling about this. She'd even warned Avriana to stay away from her son. She felt that Tyler and Avriana had a volatile, toxic relationship and that Avriana was always the source of new drama. But Tyler was in love with Avriana and the two soon started a family together. Before long, the couple had 2 baby boys. But to have her sons, Avriana had to go off her bipolar disorder medication. She couldn't get pregnant before. On Halloween 2014, Avriana's first son was born. 2 things had now happened. 1, she had a child of her own. 2, she was off her meds. Now, Cali had become a nuisance to her. Day after day, Tyler came home to find Cali full of injuries.
And I would ask Avriana how she got him, and she says, she bumped her head because she was playing, or she's chasing her brother as she fell. Or she's just clumsy like her dad,
When the detectives asked Avriana if she ever hit Cali, she didn't shy away from her answer.
I was raised on discipline, so if you talk back, I'm gonna pop you in your mouth and tell you don't talk back.
I'm sure you already know this, but it's scientifically proven that children who experience aggression are more likely to become aggressive themselves. A child is abuse, not discipline. The detectives knew this, and so did Avriana. As she began talking about her behavior toward Cali, she began fidgeting, playing with her sleeves, and changing her position over and over again. When Cali was 3 years old, Tyler's aunt contacted Child Protection Services. She reported abuse and neglect at the hands of Avriana. The situation was really getting out of hand.
Left hand, it was saran wrap. It had olive oil and Vaseline on it.
Cali had severe burns on her tiny arm, but when Tyler confronted Avriana about it, she just said the water was too hot when Cali washed her hands, as if you can get 3rd-degree burns that way. Not only was Avriana blatantly lying to her husband, she even convinced him to take the blame for Cali's burn, as she didn't want Tyler's family to think of her as abusive. But she was, and she knew this. However, she took advantage of Tyler's kindness and sold him the story that she just trusts in a more disciplinary education. She blamed Cali's horrific injuries on strange accidents, and for some reason, Tyler bought it over and over again. But by 2015, Tyler's family didn't even trust him anymore. When he said he was responsible for the accident that burned Cali's hand, his aunt thought otherwise, so she reported the incident to CPS. The report also stated that Tyler had a long juvenile criminal history, including the sale and use of, and that Avriana has severe untreated mental health disorders. When the Child Protection Services came to Tyler and Avriana's home, Tyler told the same bogus story Avriana had asked him to tell his family.
CPS comes, I tell them the same thing, I was mopping and then put her hand in the water, and then I looked up how to heal a third-degree burn, right? I did everything I said. She was good to go, no pain.
But there was something else mentioned in the CPS report, something that tragically would lead to Cali's horrific death. In October 2015, the family gathered at a party, and Tyler's family was once again shocked by Cali's state. This time, they saw her much thinner than in July. This was very worrying for a 3 or 4-year-old. They even noticed her eating food off of other people's plates, like she'd been starving. Of course, when the detectives interviewed Avriana, they asked about this.
His family had said that she wasn't eating enough or something like that, and I think that's another reason why they called. But
why would they say that?
I guess because she was thin.
When the police found Cali's body in the duffel bag, she weighed 16 pounds. This is the truly gruesome truth behind her death. She was emaciated beyond recognition. Avriana had starved her for years, and Tyler just let it happen. And somehow, Child Protection Services weren't worried enough to take Cali away back in 2015. Avriana even played on this during her interrogation.
Everything was fine. They closed the case. They closed the case because she clearly wasn't being abused. You guys can't judge a book by its cover. You know, just because I'm depressed doesn't mean I'm abusing my daughter.
Cali was severely disciplined, if we can even use that word at all. And what is really sad is that Tyler saw it happening.
She would use belts, she would use wooden spoons, she would use brushes and combs, you know, she wouldn't stop, you know, I'd have to stop her, you know, it's like.
Avriana was so determined to inflict damage on Cali that even when Tyler physically got between them, she would beat Tyler to it.
You know, she's trying to climb over me to get to, and she's telling me, you know, you always save her. You know, you can't always save her.
One time, Tyler came home and found Cali in a dog cage in the bathroom. The family also had a dog, Maverick, but Avriana kept him locked in the cage most of the time. Yep, she was abusive to many souls, but imagine coming home and seeing your toddler daughter locked in a dog cage.
You know, and the first thing I do is get her out of the cage, you know. What is she doing? She's not crying. She's not crying, and she's not hurt, she's not bruised, right?
Avriana's message was that she'd listened to Tyler's pleas not to inflict damage on Cali anymore. So now she was abusing her psychologically. If she wasn't crying, all was fine, right? All was not fine. In fact, it was far from fine. The detectives already knew how poor Cali ended up when they took Avriana in for questioning, but they played it as if Cali had simply disappeared. Slowly but surely, they would get Avriana to reveal the horrific reality of Cali's death.
Is that normal for her to be gone this long a time?
I mean, I sort of, because she would stay with his mom, you know, and stuff like that.
But Avriana had said that she and Tyler had fought long and hard to get full custody of her. She even said that Cali never stays with Tyler's family either. Avriana also tried to pin the blame on Tyler for Cali's malnourishment and recent disappearance. But when the detectives asked her about Tyler's work, she said he worked 2 jobs and that he was away from home for 10 hours or more every single day. That meant she was Cali's primary caregiver. She was getting her points across, and that was good news for the detectives. They could finally add pressure to her and get a confession.
When did you actually last talk to Tyler? Today?
Well,
So it was one.
We just got more. We got a phone call and we got some information, more information. You're talking to Tyler. Okay. Your daughter. She wasn't at somebody else's house. She was at your apartment this entire last week and this entire time since you guys have moved here. Okay.
Yeah. The detectives then pressed Avriana about Cali's health, slowly taking the discussion towards her horrendous death. That's when Avriana revealed Cali had last seen a doctor when she was 2. So Avriana pulled a reason for this.
I've been absent lately.
But here's the catch. There was a note found in her home at the time she was brought in for questioning.
You've been absent? How do you say that? What do you mean by saying that?
Mentally.
Was this Avriana's plan to shift the blame on Cali's biological mother and explain her death through her own depression?
Like, my mind just hasn't been there.
Okay.
You know, like...
What's going on in your mind?
Just been going through a lot of stuff.
Okay.
I feel like I don't have anybody to talk to.
Avriana confessed that using white powder is a coping mechanism for her, a way of avoiding her actual problems by escaping. This is a sad truth that plagues many people suffering from addiction, but in Avriana's case, it was also a way of shifting responsibility from her crime. However, minutes later, Avriana would finally give herself away, while justifying Cali being underweight.
I mean, she's not fat. But you see my 4-year-old, he's not. I have small kids. But I think it's Tyler's genes. Well, you see us, we're both short, so I don't know. But yeah, she ate.
Did you hear that past tense? This was a huge slip of the tongue. She was still acting like Cali was alive. The detective seemed to ignore this statement and spoke about Cali's health some more. Then Avriana confessed that Cali had been suffering from a sort of stomach bug for months. Still, she said she never took her to the doctor. Then Avriana implicated herself as responsible for Cali's health problems, all thanks to her depression and disconnect.
I just feel tired.
With you being disconnected, do you think that's part of her health not doing so good?
And to me being the reason for her health, I guess so.
Now, it was time to tell Avriana they knew Cali was gone.
So what do you guys know?
We know about the bags. We know about the barrel.
About the storage unit.
We know about the storage unit.
Know about your trip.
At last, Avriana broke down. She couldn't find any more plausible scenarios to sell to the cops.
That day or that night, what did you say happened? What did you tell her?
That's crazy.
It was finally dawning on Avriana that she was going to jail and that she would never see her 2 biological children again. Yeah, Avriana wasn't crying for Cali, she was crying for herself. As Tyler would reveal, she was the one who manipulated him into hiding Cali's body.
You're not gonna call an ambulance, I can't go to prison, If you call an ambulance, I'm gonna kill you, You have to save your daughter, CPR,
According to Tyler, Avriana smashed his phone while he tried to call 911 and blocked the main door when he tried to get help from the neighbors. When Tyler's CPR attempts failed, Avriana told him Cali's death was his fault. I know, and it gets darker.
Who took care of that? So you didn't put her in the bag?
However, both of them removed all evidence from their home, like the rug Cali was laid on after her death. Then Avriana asked Tyler to take Cali and come with her wherever, as long as they were together. That way, she could make sure he wouldn't turn her in.
She wants to go to California, and she wants to buy under a bridge near Woodland. And then she said, matter of fact, I should just put the bag in the Sacramento River, leave it on the train track, Then she said no, because even if she gets ran over by a train, they can still identify her,
How evil do you have to be to even think of this? Cali's body was in Tyler's trunk for 2 whole weeks. Avriana told him to keep it there until they devise a plan. That way, if Tyler turned against her, she could call the police and tell them Tyler has a body in the trunk. When the smell in the car got unbearable, Avriana instructed Tyler to get a plastic barrel and Cali's body in acid, Breaking Bad style. That's when Tyler got the barrel, but took Cali to Joe Garcia in Sacramento, asking suspicious questions so that Joe would check his storage unit and call the police. That's right, Tyler said he intentionally behaved strangely around Joe, as he wanted to get caught and end the whole ordeal. But Cali's story is far from over. The police would find out a very dark truth from 2 different accounts. A visiting friend of Avriana's and a man Avriana had an affair with for 2 months at the beginning of 2018. Both saw Avriana's 2 boys in the house, but none of them saw Cali. When asked about her, Avriana lied and said that she was with Tyler's mom. And when they tried to use the master bathroom, Avriana screamed at them not to enter. The most plausible scenario is that Cali was being kept in the dog cage inside that bathroom, perhaps sedated or too weak to cry for help. Remember that 2015 CPS report stated Cali was malnourished. This was 2.5 years before her horrible death. And it gets even worse. During a coke binge, Avriana confessed something terrible to Tyler. While Tyler was away at work, she would keep Cali locked in her room.
And Avriana would go in there and tell him, your daddy doesn't love you, you know. Nobody loves you. The person that gave birth to you doesn't even love you, you know.
Cali knew nothing but a life of pain, suffering, and isolation. It's hard to imagine a life harder than hers. During his trial, Tyler still tried to play ignorant, as if he didn't know the full extent of Avriana's horrific crimes until the very end. But Tyler was there to see his daughter emaciated, locked in a cage, and by his wife, yet he did nothing to stop it. As for a motive,
she always said I was supposed to have your first child, and I can never see myself being with a man who has a baby, and I'm not a stepmother and things like that.
This was jealousy at its very worst. When Cali's body was found, she weighed 16 pounds. The detectives estimated her age as 6 months old. Tyler could not convince the detectives he hadn't seen the horrific state she was in for years. In March 2018, both Tyler and Avriana pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder, but a year later, they both changed their pleas to guilty. In August 2021, Avriana was finally sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 20 years. Tyler was sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 10 years. Will this bring justice for a soul that knew little to no happiness? And if they get parole, are their other kids safe? Hey, thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on this case? Let me know in the comment section, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.